Cactus rotations. For this exercise, you will need a stick. A broomstick will do. Remove the broom so that it does not carry extra weight on one side. And from here, you will have the stick above your head. Notice that the stick stands directly above my head, and my elbows are also in line with my shoulders. I'm not here or here. And from this position, with the elbows level with my shoulders, I will bring my arms down. I will continue, and for the first part of the movement, which is up to here, you will see that my shoulders stay back. However, in order to bring the stick completely directly underneath my head, I need to bring my shoulders forward. So from the front, it looks like that. My shoulders here are coming forward for the last part of the movement. Still, at this position, the elbows are level with the shoulders. So then I return all the way up, shoulders back, and I touch my lower rib. I make an effort at all times to keep the elbows level with the shoulders, and for that reason, it helps to have a mirror directly in front of me. Initially, this will be with a stick, which weighs nothing, but afterwards, you will be adding weight by bringing a plate through or an ankle weight through the stick, and over time you will want to increase the weight by having even a bar. With the bar, it's the same thing. You start from here, but obviously you will have accumulated plenty of practice with lighter weight before you get hold of a bar. Shoulder flexion, which is this movement of the shoulder, is restricted in many people. So conditioning your shoulders at this end range can be very useful. For this purpose, we will need a band attached more or less level with your shoulder. It can be a little bit lower or above, and you can get hold onto it. And from there, you will end up facing in 4 directions. It's important in all directions to have the maximum elevation of the scapula. So you don't practice from here, but you elevate your scapula fully. So when you elevate your scapula fully, your shoulder will be touching your ear. You can see it from this angle, and you can see it from this angle. As much as your flexibility allows you. In the beginning, it might not be possible, so you may be a little bit lower, but over time, you will be practicing more and more from this position. So it will be pulses, and you will, as I said, go on 4 directions. And it's important to always keep the band under tension. So depending on the strength of the band and your strength, you may have to move further away from your reference. So from here, you will lift, as I said before, the shoulder. You try to keep your spine straight, and you do pulses. And you perform between 12 and 20 in this direction. Then you will move sideways. Now you are pulling sideways. Then you're pulling backwards. Always you are pulling away from your pole or away from the reference. And last one, again here, don't know if you can see, but my shoulder is still touching the ears. I do pulses in this way, keeping my back straight. You will do 12 to 20 repetitions in each direction, and you may want to be doing more than 1 set on each shoulder. Shoulder flexion pulses. In this exercise, we're going to move the arms towards flexion, and every time starting with the hands down. We'll use a couple of different arm positions. We will start with the arms straight and the palms facing each other. When the palms are facing each other, it's worth understanding that the shoulders move more towards external rotation. When we have the palms facing away from each other, which I will show you afterwards, the shoulders are in internal rotation. So we're going to start with elbow straight and palms facing each other. And from there, with the scapula protracted, rounded upper back, we'll do some pulses, starting with the arms low and gradually start going higher and higher. I'm trying to maintain the scapular protraction throughout the movement, and I go all the way up to the maximum of my flexibility. At the top position, I'm elevating my scapula, so my shoulders are touching my ears, and without arching my lower back, I go to the maximum range that I have available, and then I return slowly down. And I go up and down. At some part of the movement, for me, it is somewhere here, and you can see now I'm losing the scapular protraction because that's my weak point. It will feel a little bit more sticky, and that's where we want to spend more time. For a lot of people, this sticky part will be at the top of the movement, so then they need to spend more time there. We do repetitions of 10 to 15 of those in each set, and you should be feeling the burning sensation at the very latest after the 6th repetition. If you have a very light band, then you will not feel the burning sensation in your shoulders soon, and this means that you need to increase the band. As a rule, I suggest that you use a band that you cannot pull either way by more than 1 centimeter. This is the first version of the exercise. Then the next version, you will be doing the same thing, but with the elbows bent. This is much harder, but it is possible, and you will see now that I will not be able to bring my shoulders as much as high as I did before. So you notice that somewhere here, in order to bring my arms higher, to open my shoulders more, I need to arch my back. So that's my limit. So I'm making an effort to keep my elbows shoulder distance, and I slowly bring it up and down. This was again with the palms facing each other, so it was in the external rotation of the shoulders. Now we will have palms facing away from each other, and now again I can do the same. I think it's self-explanatory. These are the versions, and this is a high repetition exercise, and you want to be doing it if injured throughout the day. In the beginning, probably it will be sets of 1 only, but gradually you will be able to do sets of 2 or even 3. Shoulder rotations in horizontal abduction. So horizontal abduction is when we bring the arms out, and we will be doing shoulder rotation. This is the internal rotation of the shoulder. This is the external rotation of the shoulder. So let's see how we will end up approaching it. We will extend the arms out, and from there, both palms are initially facing down. One palm will start going in one direction, the other one in the opposite direction. So notice that my shoulders are moving in opposite directions, and naturally this ends up sending my head in one way. But don't worry about the head so much. Let's focus on the shoulders. So the shoulder that is moving in external rotation is going to go back. I hope you can see that my right shoulder is moving back, and the shoulder that is moving in internal rotation is coming forward. So I want to go as far in each direction as possible. So rotate the shoulder a lot forward and the other one back, and then I switch and I go to the opposite side. I keep my elbow straight. Of course, the movement is initiated from the shoulder. I'm not moving just my wrists, and I keep going. Chances are that one side may be a little bit more mobile. It can be more mobile in the external rotation, or it can be more mobile in the internal rotation. And of course, we want to pay more attention to the side that we are restricted. There will be a burning sensation. This is a high repetition exercise. We will be doing probably sets of 20 to 40. And after a while, we may want to have some resistance on our hands, some weight, so we can hold plates. We can put some ankle weights on the wrist, and from there, it's the same principle. So we go and we go. And it's worth, again, I repeat, focusing on the end range. So we can move faster in the initial part of the rotation, but we want to slow down and hold the end. Scapular protraction is the movement of the scapula where it gives us a turtle back. And for all pushing exercises, this is worth strengthening. Now, we are not going to be doing exercises that involve the chest a lot, but chances are that you may feel a little bit your chest muscle in the process. What is important is to get to the point that we can isolate this movement. I will demonstrate first with a band, and then I will demonstrate on an elevated surface. So with the band, you will hold it with both hands, bring it behind your back, and from there, from this position, around your back, as if you're trying to hug someone. Yeah? That would be the version with the band. If you're now using an elevated surface, which will ultimately be lower and lower and potentially the floor, you will have a plank position. Now the scapula is in neutral position, and now I'm rounding. And neutral, I'm rounding. I'm trying to isolate the movement from my upper back. This is an exercise that if the resistance is hard enough, 10 repetitions, maybe 15, should be sufficient per set. Scapular retraction and depression. The scapular depression is very important when we are doing pulling exercises overhead, and the retraction is very important when we are doing pulling exercise parallel with the floor. We can train though both of them with the bar over our head. So we will first demonstrate the retraction, the depression, and then we will go to the retraction. So you get hold of the bar. The grips can vary. You can practice that with supine grip. You can practice that with even mixed grip. But let's start now with palms facing away from us and hands shoulder distance. And from there, you will go into a dead hang where the shoulders are touching the ears, and you will try to move the shoulders down. So I'm staying two-dimensional, and this is the depression and elevation of the scapula. I can hold at the top. I'm trying to minimize the arch of my back, and then we will demonstrate the retraction. But let me show you also how the depression looks from the back. Now, for the retraction, instead of going up and down, we are going back. We are bringing the shoulder blades towards each other, which when we're doing that from a bar above us, it will allow us to lift the chest, to expose our chest towards the ceiling. So it will look like that. So from this position, again from a dead hang, I'm going back. I'm going back, and yeah, and we can of course combine both. So we can go up, it goes without saying that the combination is harder. It's more important to keep the quality of the movement crisp as opposed to do many repetitions. At the same time, it can be a tiring exercise for the shoulders, so as the repetitions progress, we may find that the range decreases, and that's fine. But yeah, we still want to have as much of a range as possible, and maybe hold at the end range. Fantastic exercise for warm-up for any pulling training, but also for conditioning the shoulders. Banded lat flexibility. Flexibility in the shoulder joint is often a limiting factor for many movements. And unless it is addressed separately, we cannot perform these movements. Now, tightness in the shoulder joint, and I insist and I say shoulder joint and not shoulder muscle, which is the deltoid, can be due to many reasons. The deltoids being one, triceps being another one, lats often being traps is another one, but lats is often a contributing factor. And now I'm going to show you some lat stretches with the band. The band is attached at a level where my shoulder is or a little bit higher, and we can do them with one hand or with both hands at the same time, and we'll do these stretches in two directions. First, we'll be moving away from moving forward, bringing the shoulders into extension, and the other one being on lateral flexion, but it will be clear in a second. So I'm holding the band. I can do these exercises with the arm straight, and some people will find that more efficient. More people will find it with the elbow bent more efficient, but I will demonstrate both. I'm keeping my chest square and I'm leaning forward. I can either arch my lower back and take some stretch into my back as well, or perform that with the spine straight. I suggest you try both, and I'm demonstrating also the elbow bent version. And if I want to get both hands, both shoulders involved, I hold the band with both arms. I'm keeping my elbows close to my head, and I'm leaning forward. Apart from just performing the movement with the elbows bent or straight, what will be even more efficient is moving from straight to bent. Sometimes there is one point in between these two positions that the shoulder is most restricted, or the lats are more restricted. Keep in mind that the triceps are also getting stretched here. So from this position, I'm gonna hold, should get the band out of my face, and from there I'm straightening and bending. And remember, we want to be aware of what we are doing with our spine. Straight spine, which is what I'm doing at the moment, is valid, it's one option, but arched back is also a valid version. Now, this, as I said, is the version where I'm moving away from my reference point. I will also demonstrate the side one. For the side one, I will hold the band with one hand and maybe support the wrist with a free hand and lean away. How you set yourself up very much depends on the strength of the band and your flexibility. But I suggest you experiment, because depending on how you move into the side flexion, you will be able to stretch not just your lats, but even triceps all the way down to obliques. And these are the two directions in which you can stretch your lats with the band. When it comes to reaching the hands behind the back, the limitation comes from the arm that goes underneath. And this banded exercise can help you improve the flexibility in that direction. So, you attach the band from a point higher than your head, and you get hold of the band, allowing for a bit of slack. I suggest in the beginning you just straighten the arm and reach away, and give your anterior deltoids and pec a stretch, and then you will bring the shoulder into internal rotation. But if you find that confusing, just keep moving away from the band, and naturally the arm will come behind your back. which is the position that we want to strengthen. If the stretch at this stage is too intense, you give some slack. You hold the band lower. If it is too light, you can adjust by holding the band further up. And from there, you can straighten and bend your elbow. Try to maintain your spine straight. And as your flexibility increases, you will be able to take the arm out to the side, maybe bring it into extension and then back into internal rotation, and like that over time you will be able to bring your hand further and further up towards your wanted position. One more way to intensify this stretch is hold the band, and instead of taking the arm out or walking your hands further up, is to come down on your knees and then come back up. And you can do that for a few repetitions.